Good evening and welcome to Yarmouth Frame and Gallery's Gallery Conversations. Tonight we are here with Gayl McNally. She is extraordinaire with encaustics, acrylics, and watercolors. And one of the things I hear most, Gayl, about your work is the layering effect and what you embed in the encaustics. Can you tell me a little bit about how you find these objects?
Well, this one your husband gave me.
I recognize that one.
So that was very convenient. I find them at the beach. Monhegan or Vinyl Haven, sort of pick it up, put it in my pocket. I had a great collection of them and I didn't know what to do with them and I took them all to the dump. Now I'm collecting them again. But it really makes a difference in the work. They're very heavy, so you have to find a way of embedding them into the encaustic.
So is it just in the wax?
Just
is that how you do
just in the wax.
And it holds?
It does, it does. How you find out is you put it in the refrigerator, freeze it, throw it on the floor really hard. And if this is true.
Like the whole painting?
Yes, and if it stays on there, you're in business. If it doesn't, well, you've got to start over again.
You have to have a pretty big refrigerator for that. It'd be like stacking them in there.
It works. The colors are absolutely extraordinary. And it feels like it's alive. It feels like pulls me right in. And the reason why that happens, that's the daymar, which is the resin. And it goes deeper and deeper. So other kinds of painting, like whether it's canvas or board, they seem to have a backing. You're working against it, but encaustic doesn't feel like that. It feels like it goes on forever. And of course, some of these might have 30 coats on them.
I was just thinking it could go on forever,
depending
on how much you want to vary and how much veiling you want to do.
Absolutely.
Does it make a difference with the amount of resin and the amount of wax?
No, there's a very definite combination that you do. If you don't, it's either too hard or too soft.
Oh.
So you could make it. I have this little equipment station at home and I make all these things. Yeah. But if you don't do it right, you're in trouble.
Oh, so you got to get it right the first
time. It's got to be absolutely right. But it's so alive, so pulls you right in.
And where do you come up with your color palette? Because you just have a really nice way of using something very dark underneath and then layering it with...
It's just, sometimes it's an idea, sometimes it's a word, sometimes I just let it develop as it goes along. It's an extraordinary medium. It's so sensual that you want to, I love the smell of it, absolutely love it. And the feel, you're feeling it constantly because if it's too hot you can't add to it, too cold you can't do that. So you get to, all that. And it's never, like wet or dry. It's like molten or not. So it's very strange.
So why do you say you love the smell of it?
Well, it's beeswax, but it's this wonderful, sweet smell, but you shouldn't smell much of it because I have to have fans and I have to have it going outside of the house. Oh. So if I smell it downstairs, it's getting a little too hot. Oh. And it's very, very dangerous for your lungs.
So it's kind of like a meter.
Exactly. And I always have a thermostat right on
the pan?
Well, when I'm working on the hot palette.
Yeah.
Because you fuse between each layer.
Oh,
so you're it's constantly hot and you're moving, and within seconds, if you take it off of the palette, it hardens.
Wow.
But not really harden. So it's tricky words.
Yeah.
And it's a tricky feeling. The Greeks used it, 3,000 years ago for their ships. And it really waterproofed them, which was an amazing thing. And then the Egyptians, the next, that was the Fayum group. That's like 500 years later.
Wow.
And they did all the Fayum masks, which were wonderful. And then you had people like Jasper Johns and Diego Rivera. So it came back, but it keeps coming in and going out. But
now, it's in now.
Yeah, it's in now.
We love it.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many compliments I get on your work. People are just so inspired by it and mystified by it. They want to hear about that process.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I absolutely love it, which I think you can tell when I love it.
I think you can tell. And another thing that you really love is travel.
Oh yeah, travel is a great
We have like 3 or 4 different places here that Gayl has traveled to. So we'll get to those in a minute, but I want to hear about the shrimp. And what
The
is
shrimp,
the,
okay, where should
let's,
I be? Over
okay,
here.
stand here
Alright.
so that you can tell us about this piece.
The
Because
shrimp started out just putting the dark color. I started with blue, and then I was adding some yellows, and finally it said to me, that's under the ocean. And then the shrimp came out of my head someplace. But it's sort of like Spain.
Yeah.
And there it is.
Well, once I tell people about embedding objects and that sort of thing, they get real close and they say, is that a real shrimp? And I'm like, I hope not.
But it looks pretty. So that one, those are
It's
actually,
great.
I painted on. But you can do all sorts of things. I don't like to do collages and so forth. I think it takes away from the medium. I like the natural, wonderful way of doing it.
And this is so oceany too.
Right, and these were
Beautiful.
pieces from Montego. In fact, it's two different pieces. And this was some calligraphy that I did underneath the whole thing, right on the board. I never tried that before, but that worked very well.
Oh.
So it's like, and see how it elevated here?
Yeah, it really looks like a wave just
Right.
washed out over the beach.
So much of it just evolves, and
Yeah.
that's the best part. It's very experimental.
You can't get that with any other medium.
No.
It's just this.
It's absolutely perfect. Takes a long time to do it, that's the only problem. And you shouldn't burn your arms, because sometimes you do that.
I bet you could.
And that hurts.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's a wonderful medium to work with.
Well, let's move on to the watercolors.
Okay?
Because let's walk over here and talk about your trip to, this is Morocco?
This is Morocco. And this was the, I couldn't think of the word, the
farmer's market?
Farmer's market, that's right. This was lettuce and so forth in the front of it. This man was absolutely wonderful. He was really watching me, as you could tell. But his face was going to be just brown. And all of a sudden, I started with my fingers, and I actually sculpted that face out.
I don't know if you can get this. If you move around this way, I'll move here. And
But it's an amazing face.
It
And it
really
has
is.
cheekbones, he has this beard, and it was simply with my fingers. That thing on his head, it looks like snakes, but it's actually a turban. This was a bottle of bleach, so I think, so they washed the vegetables, and I think that's what that was there
Well,
for.
that's a good idea, I think.
Oh, a very good idea.
Yeah. And this was the same place? Or is
This was
Mexico?
Morocco too,
Morocco.
and this was, I was sitting over here, kind of in a little sidewalk, and this fella kept watching me. And he was a lot bigger than I was, but I really liked the bike. Now whether, he thought I was going to touch the bike, I don't think he thought that. But after, I did some sketches on this one, and then I thought I would just move on. I didn't want to offend him in any way. But he was quite a large fellow.
I mean, was he like a monk or something? Why
No,
the big
he-
red cape? That's just his style?
Yeah, I don't think that
Interesting.
was really a cape. I think it was a sweatshirt or something.
Oh,
But
so
I
a
sort
little
of made
artistic license
A
there.
little artistic, but
That's
it
good.
was wonderful with the stomach. because
Yes,
it
it's
really,
perfect.
and
Great.
just the nose and the face, and that's really all I saw. But he sort of kept coming in and out of that wall.
Oh,
So eventually I
checking on
thought
it.
I should move, and I did.
good. And then we've got Ireland.
Oh yes,
Right?
this has a funny story. Place called.
Let's put you over here so that we can get you
Okay.
both in that shot.
This is called the Beara Peninsula. It's in Cork. Very wonderful place, and little teeny village. And it's called Tidy Town because in Ireland they have this contest every year. And it's very, very important. There's not even one piece of paper on the ground.
Wow.
And if you have one piece of paper, you don't get the award for Tidy Town. But anyway, I'd been sitting on the curb for a couple of days painting various things. And this little boy adopted me. His name was Daniel. He was 5 years old. One big freckle. He looked so Irish. And he kept looking at me. I said, Daniel, what is the matter?
Yeah.
He said, that's not very good. He thought it was too crooked. And of
Too
course, then I
crooked.
realized I got it, because that's what I was trying to get, was the
Perfect.
crookedness.
Yeah.
And this is Ireland again, and that's what the rocks look like. And of course, it's
so
raining all the
beautiful.
time.
All
So
mossy
it's just, oh yes.
and lush.
Lush, very, very lush.
Mm.
Very easy to paint these because that's what it's like.
And
Yeah.
do you tend to do watercolors when you travel? 'Cause
It's
easy.
easier, but I like acrylics too when
Yeah.
I travel. This is less equipment that you have to bring with you.
Yes.
And of course, it's very tiring when you've got to put it in a
hard to
packet.
carry with paints,
Right,
too.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I tried, but of course I can't do encaustics.
No,
Yeah,
no, you'd have to
that's-
save that when you
So
come
all
back.
my equipment, yes. You should see me with my heat gun and my torch. Oh, I'm dynamite.
Well, but it's probably a dream of yours to have a studio everywhere you go, and then you could.
I don't know about that.
Too much.
And this is Pozos. This is in Mexico. We go there in the wintertime near San Miguel, which is in central Mexico. And this was the old silver mining area. And what's left is mostly facades of these wonderful
So
buildings.
it's like empty buildings.
Right.
Out in the
And
middle of a desert
Oh
setting?
yeah, a high desert.
High desert.
And this was up on the hill.
Mm.
And it was exactly like that. But they're thinking they can make it into an artist retreat, but of course it'll never happen because it's too isolated and
Yeah.
it'll be too expensive. But it's a beautiful place
It'd
to
be
go.
very industrial to be painting there. It's got to have an amazing feel about it.
Oh, it does. It does. You feel like, and there's very few people there.
Yes.
So we go for a couple of days and we
Oh,
stay
it's
in
like
this
a
little,
retreat.
this little funny place.
Oh,
and
lovely.
yes, it's wonderful.
Mm.
Wonderful. And then we have some more acoustics here. We have
Yes,
some
we do.
acrylics there.
And let's take a look at this.
Oh, this is in Yarmouth, and it was called
Purple Rain, I think. Yarmouth Purple Rain.
Yes,
Yeah.
little lobster boat, rather abstract. As you can see, all my work is abstract,
Mm-hmm.
or I abstract color out of it, or shapes out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I like this. It's one of those experimental things again that, why would I even do that kind of thing? I have no
Yeah.
idea.
It just comes.
It
It's
just
like a
comes.
channel.
I don't know. And then we
Channeling.
have these funny people down
I
here.
love this.
Well, this looks like you and your husband.
It does. Maybe that's why I like it so much.
It could be. It could be. And you said someone just used
It
this
did.
for...
Somebody shared that on Facebook for an anniversary gift on Facebook, as an image to her husband.
Great idea.
Which is exactly what I felt when I saw it. It was like, it's called Sync.
Yeah,
And
Sync,
it
we're
looks
right.
like it. Yeah.
And that just
Lovely.
happened. When I say that, that sounds so weird, but so many things just happen
Yeah.
that you don't always
I think
have.
it's a subconscious thing, which you really got to be in touch with that if you're going to do an abstract piece.
Right. In fact, it's really harder,
Yes,
because if you're just doing something representational, you see it.
right.
But I see these things in my head.
Yeah, you can't put too much thought into it. It's got to
No.
be a real nice balance of emotion.
Right.
Mm. Well, yeah, this has been interesting.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us
Thank you.
and being here tonight. And thank you all for coming by.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.